Greetings and salutations and welcome back. Thanks for joining us for another episode of, is it still Dirty Sweat, Gary?
No. We asked a couple of guys last week a couple of questions.
Oh, hold on a minute. And
Yes.
how many responded?
One.
One. Oh.
Yeah, so,
And I think it's actually, I'm disappointed. But, you know, if the crowd doesn't want it, our legal department had to get involved.
Yeah.
And they ended up going to the digital agency and the influencers agency and all the rest
Correct.
of it. And for those influencers amongst you, follow Mark Ritson.
yes.
Got some brilliant stuff.
Yeah, and they came up with a name.
Gary, what is the name they came up with? It's like, I haven't bought into it fully, but I believe there was a vote.
Yes.
And
There was-
me and my people voted.
Yeah, you and your people voted against me and my people.
I've got a whole lot of people in my head and a whole lot of voices, and they do crazy things. And are we going to... What did they come up with? What did we decide on?
Waved yellow.
Waved yellow.
So
Why is
from
it
now
waved
on,
yellow?
From now on, the show is called # Waved Yellow.
And
By the way, hi everybody. Sorry, very rude of me. It's him again.
Gary, do you know, have we got like people, 10 million joined us, or are we past that? So waved yellow, what is waved yellow about? It's about caution, be careful, and be aware. You do not know what is going to happen. Most of the time, Gary, I don't know what's going to happen, but what I do know is this.
What's that?
There was some great racing this weekend.
And listen.
And a woman, again,
Yeah. And a woman went out,
and she came second,
and, yeah,
as they should do.
on the international platform, and the girls are ruling motorsport overseas.
That was Catherine Legg,
Yes.
Watkins Glen International.
Yeah,
How cool was that race?
absolutely awesome.
And the coolest part of it was it in GTD, which is the American... Oh, by the way, happy birthday, America. It's the 4th of July.
Oh yes, they're going bing bong with all
There's a
these.
huge party in
Yeah.
America now. So to all our American fans, those of you in California and New York, unbelievable. Great to see you. And then down in Monterey with the sports cars as well. So there's Watkins Glen International.
Yes.
And we're just going to focus on, because we just like
Yeah.
fast saloon car racing. So
No,
GTD.
but one of the reasons why we want to concentrate on this because we was there.
Well,
Yes,
Gary,
South Africa was there.
you've gone. Oh, sorry.
Not you and me. We didn't get that lucky.
The script department didn't get to me today, so I. So the Van der Linde boys were there,
No,
and
just one.
well, Gary,
Sheldon van der Linde was there.
the little one,
Yeah, the young one.
the youngster, he's about 13,
Correct.
and was leading, and there was some brilliant footage.
Well, now let's start
Because
off with-
Catherine Legg, who came second overall,
There.
is in the Acura.
Yes.
And Honda, they call it something else, an Acura in America.
Mm-hmm.
But for the rest of the world, it's a Honda. It's the Honda's entry into GT3 racing, which is unbelievable. Graham Eagle, if you're out there, we need an Acura in South Africa for LMP3 racing. And essentially, there was a huge dice between Sheldon and Catherine, and of course, South Africans rule, and they won, and the sound down, Gary, and the South Africans won, and we were leading, and then the Americans came in, and they spoiled the whole lot because they decided that, hey, our guys, there was
No,
something wrong with the
there are a
penalty.
couple of rules.
You know what? I think they were biased against South Africa because we were winning, and that's just not acceptable. So I'm glad that...
Is this like anti-American on the 4th of July or what?
Oh, say,
Can you
see?
No, I can't sing either.
So, the other thing about America, which I think is so totally cool,
Yeah.
is NASCAR. And there was some great racing from Michigan. It was probably rated as the bestest race ever in the last 12 months. And the coolest part was Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch, last lap, and they got into each other. And that is truly, do yourself a favor, go and have a look at the last lap of NASCAR at Michigan. That, ladies and gentlemen, rubbing is racing. And the boys get out the car, they all happy, and then the crowd booed Kyle Busch because they don't like him. But hey, it was awesome racing. So that was that.
Yes. And then,
but the thing is
Yeah.
that I think is so totally cool about GTD, which is GT3 racing in
Yeah.
in America. The top 7 were 7 different manufacturers. BMW M6, which is their old car, that won it. Then the Acura, then the Lambo, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, the Porsche, Ferrari, and
Silly
then
que-
another.
silly question.
And it wasn't a pink Porsche.
This Porsche thing.
Yeah.
How did this Porsche thing ever come about with Porsche?
Gary, because we covered that.
Oh, okay.
We went through it because the Germans gave it to the French to get the engineering right. The French built the car that was so quick down the Mulsanne Strait.
Yeah.
The Germans said it was ugly. It looked like a pig. So then Mr. Rossi, who was no, Mr. Rossi from Martini and Rossi,
Yeah.
he said this car's so freaking ugly. I don't want to have it run in my colors. So they gave it to whatever, they painted it pink and put cuts of pigs in it. So forever now, a Porsche
It's called a Porsche.
is a Porsche. Then
Just before you go there, I just want to say hi to Uncle Lee Phillips. Hola, senor.
hey, bro.
On Ile du Mari. I hope you're enjoying life over there.
Bonsoir, monsieur.
To Reynard, NASCAR rules, boy. It's the best racing in the world.
Oh, it was unbelievable. And Michigan.
Yes.
It's a 1.5 mile. I nearly said crappest, but the worsterest racing in NASCAR this year, and the most pretty much boring, has been around 1.5 mile ovals.
Yeah.
And these guys are building racing cars. In case you haven't noticed, we got kicked out of our studio.
Yeah.
Our studio is now, they don't want us there because they don't like racing.
The Rustic Studio is no more.
We tried to watch a Grand Prix there. We were told, oh no, we're not a motor racing place. So do you know what? This is our first outside broadcast for
Yes.
a week.
Yeah.
We're still in the great state of Gauteng, but we'll get back.
Yeah.
Gary,
And, yeah, just you
first
see,
of all, apologies.
yeah, you see all this stuff behind us here. Okay, this is our programming for the next
Gary, focus.
next
focus.
6 weeks.
Focus.
Yes.
So first of all, I have to apologize to Mr. Robert Driver. Last week we spoke about Paddy Driver's son. I said he was Paddy. I was wrong. It's Robert. So Robert, please accept my apologies. I have no idea what came over me. So Robert Driver, just for the record, runs the
This is sparkling fellow.
he runs the electric vehicle program at the University of Nottingham in the UK. No, well, there where Robin Hood came from. And the thing about this whole electric vehicle program is
Yeah.
that they started off with a dream, because Paddy Driver is actually South Africa's version of Mike Halewood, a motorbike champion and a car racing champion, and also bottom line, a damn all-round good guy, a nice guy, super friendly guy who could drive whatever you put him. He could drive a wheelbarrow really fast. So Robert is in England, in Nottingham, running the electric vehicle program at the University of Nottingham. And what they've done is they've built electric vehicles. No, don't stop them working. They've got to fix that car at the end. I think it's magnificent. We're in a live working workshop in Gauteng, and they actually build and develop and race cars actually from scratch. And we're going to have a look at them a little bit earlier. But anyway, so
No, a little bit later.
Gary,
Stop taking the show backwards.
it's the butterflies going on in my head. Thanks for that. So Robert Driver, great guy. He's in charge of the EV program. They built some EV motorbikes. They've had immense stuff with them.
EV meaning electric.
Electric vehicle, the way of the future.
Like Formula E type of thing.
No, betterer.
Oh, okay.
Because Formula E, it's
No,
another.
I'm just saying the concept.
That's,
We're
yeah,
going to have electric bike racing one day.
we are. They've been demonstrating that each of them, the MotoGP races, we're going to have electric cars one day. Embrace it. Do yourself a favor. If you come from Franschhoek, put your prejudices aside. Electric vehicles is the way of the future. Full stop. So they built this bike. They came for the TT0, they call it.
Yeah.
And Nottingham, the university, came third in the last 2 years. Then they took it
In
the same bike.
In the TT race.
TT0.
TT0. That means they're riding around something like the Isle of Man. Am I correct?
Gary, sorry.
This is a family show. There are kids watching. Behave yourself.
My mind went somewhere else.
I know. That's why I just got to pull you in every now
So
and
then
while you're getting
then
over
they
there,
went
while
to
you're getting
Parks
over,
Peak.
who?
Parks Peak.
Isn't that where that other thing went up the hill so fast and smashed everything that we discussed last week?
You told me not to talk about Timo Bernard.
No, I wasn't. I was talking about something.
Yeah. Okay.
We're talking
Gary,
electrics now.
Gary, they're people.
Yes.
The crowd.
Ricky Gianrotto,
Okay, how's it, but?
boom. Still waiting for the phone call, the wrap of that car. Need to come and shoot it. Give me a call. And then we come to... by the way, did Robert Driver win this thing at Parks Peak?
No, they came, according to our research department, they came third.
It was better than a toffee.
Better than fourth.
Yes.
And so that's our South
I just want to
African
know,
thing.
was there a fourth bike in it?
Moses apparently was on the back because Moses came fourth. That was the first motor racing. But let's go back to GT racing because, Gary, we love saloon cars. We're sitting with, there are 18 very fast GT racing cars in this garage we're in.
Listen,
We're going to get there.
They're all going to see them just now.
Yeah.
Where you go?
I'm going to Spa.
Oh,
68 cars are entered for the Spa 24 hours at the end of this month. Yesterday was the official... I just want to give a huge shout out to Sheldon van der Linde because we get at the end of each race a printout of the fastest 40-odd laps of each of the drivers. And the van der Linde kids are always closest to the tops. Now, the way they do this, the laps and the information you get out of Blancpain and GT stuff, it's absolutely magnificent. So you've got the average of your fastest lap,
yeah.
and then you've got the standard deviation. In other words, and the wider the bar on the thingy, for those of your mathematicians, the bigger the SG is.
What's
the
a
sigma.
thingy?
No, but, okay, so the wider the bar means that your slowerest lap was a lot slower than the fasterest lap.
Yeah.
And the smaller the bar means that you bang on consistent. And Sheldon and Kelvin are two of the drivers who have the least difference between their fastest and their slowest laps. So these kids they're not. These superstar drivers, South African drivers, are getting through the traffic and lapping really, really quickly all the time. I think it's magnificent. So now to Spa, the Porker 991 Porsche, Toby. The 991 Porker was fastest. And the bestest news, Terence Marsh, was that the number 23 Nissan OM GTR
Yes.
was second, and then a couple of Bentleys. In fact, Mr. Pepperoni's son, Jordan Pepper, was fourth.
You're talking about Ian Pepper? Or
Yeah.
Jordan Pepper?
I said Jordan Pepper's.
Oh, you said-
Jordan is the little one. Pepperoni is the big one. I get confused, Gary. Give me a break. And then there was another Bentley, then a Lexus, and then a Ferrari, and then a Honda, and then an Audi, and oh my God. So there's 13 record for
13 manufacturers
where?
for Blancpain or Blancpain
Blancpain for Le Mans. I mean for
the
that
24
one,
hours of Spa. Yeah.
Spa. Okay, so let's just go through these, and I want you to listen really. I mean, 13 manufacturers with proper GT3 cars. Audi, BMW, Bentley, and Bentley have got their 2018 car.
Yeah.
Audi are just busy testing their R8 Evo. BMW have got the R8. Ferrari, my favoritist car.
With a 488.
Yeah. Honda with the NSX.
You know there's a South African driving a 488 in this coming up in this test in Spa, or in this test in Spa.
David Perrell.
Yeah.
I've got it right.
David?
Okay, cool.
Nice of you getting out there and doing your thing, brother.
Then there's a Nissan
And a bit
OM.
more foot though.
There's the Nissan OM GTR.
Yeah?
OMG TR.
TR.
You've got it. OMG.
That
TR.
is
Nissan have got there's another story.
Yeah.
Then there's a Porker, then the MB AMG. There's 13 of them. It's unbelievable. Jag, and they're running one car. Where's
know-
our South African connection apart from
No.
There is a South. No.
There is a South African connection, but not your connection.
Yeah, it is.
Brother, get the game together. We need a Jaguar.
Adrian Zaug. Brother.
Oh, yes. Another South African
So
driving
Adrian
on the
Zaug is in
Adrian
the
Zaug.
Jag.
Yes.
Jordan is in the Bentley.
Yes, yes.
Where else are we going?
We
We've got
don't
a
have a South
Lexus.
African in the Aston
No.
or in the Lexus.
But we're going to check out. OMGs is there.
Yeah.
It is. Ooh.
And we don't
And
have.
there's a Lambo
Yeah, and we don't have.
and a McLaren.
Yeah. You know, you bring in all of that.
So Gary, that's
So that
about
was the
all.
international
Yeah.
circuit.
So why don't we just go to where we are now? So we've done. Oh, and by the way, there was a great Grand Prix. Absolutely magnificent stuff. Couple of cars broke. Oh,
And the McLaren guy decided to call it quits.
he got fired today. Oh, sorry, I meant he resigned. Sorry, Eric, you screwed it up.
Now listen.
Hey, yeah, go and
I
find.
need to do what I need to do because we just gatecrashed this workshop. I think I need to find the owner before he gets upset.
Yeah. So we decided to go on an outside broadcast. And part of the outside broadcast is to the crew. They flew us in by helicopter, and it was just like a 20-minute trip. And
Mr.
so here we
Arranges.
are. Charles, how's it?
Like in you.
Fabulous.
Fantastic.
Thank you for inviting us to your shop.
100%.
And when we say workshop, this is not just, this is a proper workshop.
Yes.
This is probably, I don't think I've been in a workshop in South Africa with this many proper cars in it.
Well, we hope so. I mean,
How many you got here? 16, 17?
18.
Okay, 18. So let's go down here. There's a white one.
No, there's not. There's an orange one.
Okay. But the reason I avoided this car,
Yeah, no, because
it's
because,
Jagermeister,
yeah, because
and
we,
that's headache car.
yeah, we could have a headache later.
And the headache car, okay, so Gary, there's a car right at the end.
No, we're going to get there.
There's a white one and another white one. This one concourse?
Yeah, concourse at the Porsche concourse a month ago, I presume. Yes. No, we pride ourselves on our cars not just being fast and the best on track, but to look the best.
This thing is seriously clean.
she's-
Now, who owns this and who drives
This is one of our big clients and one of our big friends, Anthony Blunden. So yeah, he owner of Sashka. So yeah, he actually. When I started racing against Ant in a 9. What was it? Like a 9.6 something RSR Porsche with my 944 back in the day. And yeah, we've been racing each other forever. And it's good to have him as my client now. So yeah, it's quite nice.
When you say your client, this is part of Stradali Motorsport.
Yes.
And there's 3 legs to your business.
Yes.
You build and run cars for yourself.
Yeah.
You procure build and run cars for clients.
Yes.
And then you hire cars, race cars out.
Yes. Look, it's.
Now, we're going to talk about that later. Because
I know you are very excited about that.
I've got
Just
my
a-
card out, and almost out.
Just a quick one. Anybody know Veronica Oranges?
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay,
think
she just-
that
no,
might
she
just be
just-
my mother.
She just says, "Hi, Mom. How are you? How's the cook?"
Hello, Tony.
Hello, Tony.
Gary, you don't want to go there.
Anybody
Okay,
know
so-
Anybody know Darren Mortimer?
No, but I know
Bailey.
Jeff. Oh, I do.
Bailey.
You do. Okay. Darren Mortimer's
So,
watching.
do you know that the oldest racing driver in
Yes.
the world was Jeff Mortimer, and he retired recently. He's gone off to eat fish and drink more red wine in wherever. So, what drew me to this car, apart from it being a Lambo,
Yes.
it's not a Volkswagen, even though you buy most of the parts from Goldwagen.
There you go.
But there we go, the sign here. Gary.
Toys are us.
But it's not all about toys. This is about serious business.
Yes.
So here we have a Lambo. Come around here. I counted on this car earlier. There's 28 different sponsors on it. What's the story with this car?
Well, this is one of a twin pair that actually came into South Africa now. Me and my friends, the Giannicaros, we actually brought in 2 of these.
What is it, first of all?
Okay, it is a Lamborghini Gallardo Super Trofeo. So it is Lamborghini's first try at actually building their own race car for their 1 Max series. And it was probably, and still currently is the fastest one-max series in the world. So yeah, you're looking at a 5.2 liter V10. This specific car has four-wheel drive as per the road car, the E-gear gearbox, but as 2 years back when I raced my good friend and client Jonathan Schenkman's car around Zwartkorps, they're good for 101s, for essentially a road car with slicks on it. They are fantastic race cars.
But it's a Lambo.
But that's the whole point.
And my friend, anybody know Richard Roots? Send him a shout out and say, Reggie, Dutchman, watch this show. There's a couple of stuff coming up for you.
See, Reggie,
Apart from,
Reggie, look what we got here.
Exactly.
but never mind that.
Not just your sponsor, Reggie. Mine
Your
as
boys
well.
are in town.
Never mind that. Richard Roots is the only, as far as I'm aware, the only non-Italian driver who's certified as a Lamborghini demonstration driver. I'll never forget the drive you took me on, Reggie. Magic. Right, let's go, carry on. So you've got Nicky Dix's car here. Oh, hold on, I want to go this way. Because this is the Mustang your dad drove. It's a GT4 Mustang,
Yes.
but what's so special about it?
One of 28 in the world. Like, you know, we spoke earlier. I mean, this car is Ford's first bout into modern race cars after the GT40. So, you know, it's got a lot of heritage. There's only 28 of them in the world. So, you know, and I come out of a family of drag racing, my dad being South African national champion for like 5 or 6 years. So, and he's a Chevy man, but for him to...
So for him to drive a Ford, it's a big thing.
A big thing, and to love this thing as much as he does, this car will never be sold. Let me tell you a
We
story.
spoke to him at Zwartkorps and he's absolutely in love with it. Right, I want to get to that car there where the oaks with the hammers and the grinders and stuff are busy working. Nicky Dix's car, the shocks all sorted after Zwartkorps?
We're waiting for our shock supplier to actually send back the shocks. So yeah, here we are. Waiting
So
for that.
here,
Yes, sir.
boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is, I got little chills going down my spine. Gary, come and have a check this. I mean, there's a whole lot of cool stuff going here. Check their steering wheel. It's got buttons and stuff, and it's like freaking awesome.
And there's a driver in the seat.
No,
Is
he's
that,
like
is that a crash dummy?
no, he's like huge.
Because I don't see him with all the... See there, it says the driver. Yeah.
So, what
Says
are you
the
guys
driver.
actually doing here, bro?
We're just going to check a little bit of telemetry, oil pressures, and that type of thing before the shakedown next week, Tuesday. So
But it's late at night.
just make double sure.
They work. Okay, so hold on a minute.
Yes, sir.
You have taken this car, it was something else, and in your workshop, you've built it, you've modified it, you've getuned it.
Yeah, well, to be quite honest, I mean, for guys that know GT racing and GT cars around the world, this car was a Lamborghini Gallardo FL2 GT3. So this was in its prime in, let's say, about 2014, 2015. A class-leading
4
car.
years old, this was a winner.
Yes.
But not anymore.
Well,
So
I
there's a
mean,
couple of upgrades.
cars evolve.
You know, it's like cell phones.
Exactly.
And women, they need
exactly.
to be upgraded
Cars
every now
evolve.
and then.
So this is
Family show, huh?
There you go. Yes. So this is one of probably one of only a handful of privately built Gallardo REXs in the world. Normally, you would buy this car like it is now.
Keep talking, Charlotte.
Yes.
Just check out all the like carbon fiber. It's like
Colin,
it's coolest
Colin,
stuff
if you could
ever.
move here, then I'll come from there and get
So
a better view of how that actually works.
And there's all this, the aero stuff, and
Yes.
so you
Colin, start from the
these
front and
are-
show how this flare works for me, please, because it's a bit dark in the screen.
Is it dark on the screen?
Yeah, so just
okay. So
follow the line of the car, yeah.
I've got to follow the line. And one of the things that you need to do in cars is cool them. So the air comes along here, and because this has got an upgraded motor, you've got to go in through into the radiators over here. Air comes out of there. You've got air going into the oil coolers over there, and then the cool part about it is the air comes through all of this mesh and out through the bottom of the diffuser. And this is still an early, it's not a 2018 diffuser where we see on the current Lambos that are racing there now.
Yes, look, it is still homologated to 2018 spec. This car actually from FL2 to where it was, to where it was one of the fastest and probably still is one of the fastest race cars in South Africa, to where it is now, it's actually a foot wider at the back. So that means 30 centimeters that the car has gone wider at the back. Nothing at the front. And that doesn't make sense, does
Let's
it?
go and stand here so that the cameraman, Gary, can get all this like cool carbon fiber.
Yes.
And you guys have stripped this, you've modified it.
We've done everything.
In here.
Like I say again,
in this little workshop.
in this workshop, it's one of only a handful of cars.
By the way, this is not a little workshop. It's 2,500 square meters. There's 18 GT cars here. It is probably the most impressive race workshop I've been in. And we're going to go and have a look at another car over there,
a
a
quick
couple
one.
of other cars over there, and some other stuff over there, and then we're going to talk over there, and the fridge is over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Craig, your fridge is down there, Craig. We're going to go and play in your
Which
fridge.
Craig?
I don't know. Craig Jarvis is asking where's the fridge.
There you go.
No, so
No, you know why I mentioned Craig Jarvis?
Watch out for
Yeah, be
mirrors
careful.
and stuff.
Be careful.
are we allowed to say whose
You
car
just-
this is?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Simon Murray's car, Mr. Janetta himself. I mean, he bought this car for me and had great results so far. So yeah, and again, I want to reiterate, one of only a handful of cars outside of Wright Engineering that is actually privately built, and we, Astrodali Motorsport, is one of only 4 or 5 workshops that's ever attempted this and has actually done this. I've shaken down the car 3 weeks ago, and yeah, well done to my mechanics. I mean, they just built a magic car here.
Okay, so let's go and have a look there. I know this.
Another one.
Is there another one?
Yeah, while we're
Okay,
walking, I just want to say hi to Stephen Young. Hi there, Stephen. I know there's a question you want to ask Shaw, but if you type it then I'll ask Shaw what the question is. Mr. Marius Meyer, how are you? Brendan Free, thanks for joining. Oh!
So here's
Look
another
what I
Lambo,
found.
and the back end of it is out of it. You're busy rebuilding the gearbox of this car,
Yes.
and we're going to go and have a look at the gearbox. I just wanted to, Gary, there's not often we get to see underneath the bottom of the car,
That's
and
correct.
it's a completely flat
Yeah.
surface over here. This thing that sticks out here, this is the jack. You've seen the hydraulic jack that
I thought
stick
it
out.
was the front brake.
And then, Gary, I'm not sure if you can see this little bit over here where
Just do that with your hand again.
with my
that
hand,
people-
and
there,
you
mate,
see over
yeah.
here, you'll remember our friend Mr. Bernoulli. He taught us that when the area gets small, the velocity goes up of the air, and if the velocity goes up, the pressure goes down. So it's these little Venturis or that actually develop downforce at the
Downforce.
front. So now we go down through the back here. It's
Can I ask a
completely
silly
flat,
question?
flat, and we've got a
Silly question.
Murava engine at
Yeah,
the back.
but,
Yeah.
But why a flat bottom? How does flat bottom create a ground effect?
Now let's go back to Mr. Bernoulli.
Yes.
Because one of the, in terms of aerodynamics, if you run the car close to the ground, and Gary, let's talk because I want to go and have a look at this other car. Charles, I'm sorry I'm taking over your workshop, but hey, the brain has gone there. So if you run a flat floor
Yes.
close to the ground,
Yeah.
it sucks the car onto the ground. And the sucking force is proportional to the area of the car, which is why you'll see on this Aston Martin,
Yes.
also GT3 car, you'll see here, it comes along and out in between the wheels. This is not just to look lacquer, it's to increase the floor area because the downforce is proportional to the area of the floor.
But how cool does the advertising look? I mean, look at you in the picture. Look
Gary,
at that.
can't see.
There's a Pirelli P0 getting so much out of us.
Stradale Motorsport.
Yes.
So, Charles, talk me through the Frontier. What's this bar all about?
Well, what we've done here, what we're doing is just back up. I think a lot of people that knows me and a lot of my Facebook friends saw yesterday that I put a post on regarding the Aston Martin and the Lamborghini that we just actually saw. So, yeah, choose.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Gary, what are you
Can't
doing?
take a cameraman anywhere, can we?
Don't worry
Gary,
about
this
that.
kit comes out of England. They charge in pounds, like
Please.
wounded buffaloes.
Please, it's
So you
pounds.
mean I'm in the poo now?
Big time.
Hi to Mark.
Okay,
Mark
so-
the T, how's it?
so basically-
Daniel Mano, how's it? Dean Holiday, how's it?
So basically, what we're saying is, Gary, just watch out for the poll again, please. What we're saying,
that's what's
Gary,
called walking
is
around.
that
Sorry,
Any guys-
that's what it looks like when you have to get out of the way of a pole.
so yeah, basically,
No, but
you-
hold on.
Yeah.
You're lucky because that's not Czech book racing. It's Czech.
Czech
racing.
Republic Racing. So basically, what I asked yesterday was,
That's to go with your Polish joke.
there you go. I'm asking my friends, what car do you want me to race in PE?
Which one did they choose?
Well, overwhelmingly, interestingly, it's the Lamborghini. That one not looking so very much together at the moment. Tomorrow afternoon,
it's like a couple of weeks away.
no, it's next week.
Yeah, well, that's.
It's nothing. The car will be done, but basically,
this
yeah,
one is Murvalaka. It sounds like
it is a dream to any GT racer. Let's be honest. I mean, you've got you've got a 2018 homologated race car here. It is the only one in South Africa, except for the Rex
Okay,
behind me.
hold on. I want to go back to this little car here. Gary, can we go there?
Here we go.
Because you notice how I said, "Hey, Gary, can we go there?" And then now I want to.
Colin's just busy breaking things for those of you who don't
So-
realize.
I want. You can
Let
hold
me
that
keep
thingy.
this for you.
Gary, come and stand behind us. And there are a couple of things on the
Okay,
steering
let
wheel
me try and get this to
that
work.
are freaking awesome. So you've got the basic thing, the speed light and wah, 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 and the pass. And so when you press pass, the lights flash a bit. You've got a
Simon
speed
Mary says
limiter.
stop pushing all these buttons.
And then you've got mark, and the part of the mark is that if something happens that you feel in the car, you press mark, and then it puts a mark on the data that you can go back and you can talk to your engineer. But there are two little buttons here that I want you to take
Yes.
care of. One is this one that says brakes. In fact, there's three. The other one is launch, but hey, that's just to get off the line and go faster. And the other one is this one here that says slip. And you can see that everything should be slippery and slidey. And the thing with slip is that it goes along with range. And this slip button
Yeah.
is the button to fine tune. I mean, I know I'm taking over,
No,
but,
please.
but this came through my race briefing because they want me to shake the car down and
There you go.
and I can have some fun with it. So the slip button is the amount of traction control that you get coming out of a corner, and the range is to sort out the map. You can either have monsoon or tires a little bit worn or tires Mosesly worn. And so it gives you a very, very fine tuning. And then over here, there's all the information about what gear you're in and revs and all of that. So
I want to
that,
know what this yellow
boys and
button
girls,
over here is for.
that's a secret button that's called like animal mode. And
As our friend Hamilton says, party
Yeah.
mode.
yeah, there you go. And then the other part that everybody says, "Oh my God, look at that!" Charles, if you'll let go here, I just want to go here. And then this is the back of the thing here, where, if you can hear that, it is so cool. This is the pedal shift, and it is the most positive feeling in terms of the. It sounds clunky, but it's positive. It's cool. It's unbelievable. Right, Gary, I'm ready
Yes.
for this now. I've had my lessons. I'm going to put this back in the car, and then we're going to take a quick walk to have a look at the rest of that car, which is the other Lamborghini that got. No, the rest of it, Charles, this way. But before we get there, there's a couple of horses here.
Yes, sir.
Ferrari.
This is our stable.
This is the stable of galloping ponies.
There you go.
So you got Kishore Patamba's 458.
Yes.
When are you bringing a 488 in for him?
When we get the Reserve Bank to finance us, I would say.
Because I tell you what,
It's silly money.
so you guys, this is an awesome car.
Yes, it is. No, look,
Okay.
it is I've got the privilege to race with Kishore in the Endurance Championship, And I mean, this is just such a magical car. It's you get in and it goes and it goes. It oozes reliability, dare I say it. And I mean, what GT car, what race car will ever just let you know while you're driving that, look, I'm never gonna brake. Try and brake me. And she tests you, and you just never get there. So yeah, fantastic race car, easy to drive, flipping fast. So yeah,
No, and sounds absolutely awesome.
yes.
So Mr. Jarvis's
Yes.
430.
GT3 Scuderia.
Oh,
GT3.
okay.
There's stories to that, but look, between the two,
Which one's the more fun to drive? We know
I-
that one's faster than this one.
yes. This is more a handful. To give you an idea, you're looking at 550 horsepower to probably about 600. This has a bit more horsepower than that. Not as current though. So I mean, it doesn't always feel like it, but she's an animal. I mean, what makes this car maybe a bit easier to drive is the traction control that she has. Or
Which
this
one's
workshop
more
has.
fun, the Lambo or the Ferrari?
Look,
Put it on the line.
I'm going to say Lamborghini, just because they are brutes, they are
Raging
bulls,
bull.
they are raging bulls, and they literally are. I mean, they aren't the fastest in a straight line, but goodness gracious, for some other reason, a Lamborghini just stops so much better. It gets through a corner better. Dare I say?
Is it a Lambo or an Audi? But anyway, so let's go along. There's another two cars here.
Yes.
And this gets us to the third leg. Come and stand over here. The third leg of your business. These are 430s.
360.
Oh,
Come on. We can't have 458, 430 and not 360s.
yeah, all right. Okay, so they're 360s, and these basically are cars that you prepare for customers.
Yes.
So, for instance, and Gary, is it the 14th of August in
Yes.
PE?
Yes.
Sorry, in Aldo Scribanti race circuit in PE, because last week I just said we race around PE, and he like,
Don't know.
you know, he's like,
I hear you. I hear you. Old man.
so
sitting
yeah,
there.
I mean, he's like, Oaks lost it a long time ago. So if I wanted to come and race this car, a
Yes.
Ferrari, I can come and I can basically get to PE, and then you take the car there.
Yes, we.
And what's
offer-
it going to cost me?
Look, I mean, it's all relative in racing. Basically, for a sprint race, you've got a set of tires, you've got your fuel, you've got your arrive and drive service from the team, and then you've got your car rental. I mean,
And you got your mom making the most awesome Boerewors rolls.
But I mean, is that
Is
not
that part of
obvious?
it? That's
Th-
catering.
that's part of catering. Let's be honest. So I mean, for a car like this, you're looking at a local race, and I'm going to say local race. You're looking at, let's say, roughly about 70,000 rand. That is everything included.
That's
then
not
you
so-
are racing.
It's not such a lot, eh?
But it isn't. And I mean, then you're racing.
So
a Ferrari.
why do people go and spend bucket loads of money on their backyard built specials that blow up and break, and they think that they know better than what? And I can come along and drive a
it's-
Ferrari.
it's-
Hey, Brian, are you watching? Check this car out, bro.
It's two different things. I mean, you get South African ingenuity, which is great, and which is there for a reason. Again, my workshop, we build our own race cars. We do that, but we there for the guy that or the weekend warrior that hasn't got the time, that hasn't got the expertise, that hasn't got any of that to be able to still
Build his own car.
Still, I
So
mean,
he can come in. I can come as just a normal oak
There you go.
who's got a do some business stuff. I can come and race a Ferrari.
but that's the idea.
That's
I mean,
so cool.
But it has to be. I mean, we look after from dentists in Sandton.
Don't
you know
walk
who I'm
backwards.
talking to, and to engineers, and they don't have time to ever look after their own cars.
Now, you've been kind enough to allow us into this engine room. And for those of you who can remember the stink of LS smell, yeah, it is a stink of LS diff oil, this is the place you've got to be. So, Charles, not only do you build the chassis part of the racing cars, but you kind of do a whole lot of stuff. You've got a gearbox of the Lambo over here. What's going on here? Why is it all?
This is
all
a
here?
sequential gearbox. We literally doing a bit of updating to it. She needs that. the Lamborghini that in question that I'm going to race down in PE, when she got into South Africa, and our plan is to build this car up. So we sourced a motor out of our own workshop, and here we are.
So this is one of the reasons. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah, it's
look
a bearing,
broken,
yes.
but you can see the surface is pitted here, and this is one of the reasons this gearbox has been rebuilt with the bearing's got a pitted surface, and stuff like that happens. It's a racing car.
Exactly.
There was something else I wanted to have a look at. This little bit and pieces over here. When we talk about a sequential gearbox, this is the cassette that when the thing it moves around, this is actually what changes the gears. And I mean, it's simple. It's like a motorbike. It's so cool.
It is, yes. That's what makes these cars so quick. It's not always the horsepower, but it's how quick we can change direction and change gear.
And luckily, I went to gym for the last 12 months, and I can pick this thing up.
Yeah.
This is proper heavy,
Yeah.
and this is the main shaft of the Lamborghini gearbox.
Yes.
So for those of you, there's like a little bit of stuff on the teeth.
Small little. That's not acceptable.
That's how wide the teeth are in order to make it reliable. Because these things, once you built them up, they're kind of bulletproof for thousands of kilometers of racing.
Yeah and no. I mean, it's all relative to, how long is a piece of string? It's a fantastic smell, that. Are you a racer or not?
I am, man. Right. So here we've got a V10, number 10, 9, 8, wada. This is the insides of a Lamborghini. Sorry, I'm issues with all sorts of stuff. And then this thingy here is another high-powered. This is the starter gun that you shove up the back of the car and press it and it starts it. So this is a remote starter for a racing car.
I'm interested in what is that?
That's an that's an actual Lamborghini Super Trofeo motor that is just standing around.
You mean you just got motors just hanging around town?
No, she's here and she's spare. And the crazy thing is, she's been here for a while because they are quite reliable engines. I'm not going to lie. You wouldn't
That's
think
the
that.
whole thing that we've been saying for. Let's come out of here and let's go back here. We've been saying that one of the cool things about GT racing and GT3 racing is that when you build a car properly and you follow the manufacturer's instructions and all the rest of it, they're as reliable as
Yes.
as anything, and
They
they just carry on.
They are.
They might cost a little bit, but surprisingly not so much as opposed to some of the other supposed top series in South Africa. I heard some proper numbers earlier. Anyway, we won't go there. So the last part of your business,
Yes.
and your team has graciously prepared a smorgasbord of goods for us.
Yeah. Nice.
So Reggie, my Flying Dutchman friend, you know that Richard Rutz,
Yes.
I was the first driver in South Africa sponsored by Red Bull.
Yeah.
And the greatest part of the sponsorship was that they gave us a couple of cases of Red Bull to go racing.
Yes.
And Richard Rutz, back in the day when he was a hooligan, he brought a bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
So we invented vodka and Red Bull back in the
Was
day
it
in
you?
Cape Town.
Was it you?
Reggie and I,
Can't believe it.
my brother. Reggie doesn't drink anymore because it makes us all stupid when we drink too much.
Correct.
But he's a Motul ambassador, so there's a whole lot of Motul stuff.
Yes.
Good stuff. You do Pirelli as well?
Yes, we do.
And is it only the Pirelli racing tires?
No. We do from rally to off-road to high-performance vehicles. Like the McLaren 675 LT comes out with a Pirelli Trofeo R. That's like a semi-slick tire. That falls under my profile of tires that we set.
And then the other thing,
Yes.
Gary, we're almost at the end, so we need to stop. And what do we
Yes.
need to stop is a brake pad. Now,
Yes.
this is Pagid. They're from Germany, eh?
Yes, from Germany. We just got the distributorship for Pagid South Africa, and not the Pagid of old. Pagid has developed a complete new range of of pads that we are so glad to be selling in South Africa. To be quite honest, I mean, of all the race cars we've brought in to South Africa, not one has landed without a Paget race pad in it. And I mean, it got me thinking, why are we buying all these other brands when the Europeans use Paget? So,
and also, why not become the agent and you save a little bit?
But not just that. I was actually, I was looking to buy Pagets, contacted Paget, and they're like, yeah, we don't have a distributor. So we got to an agreement, and yes, and I mean, the nice thing about Paget is they've got a relationship with Aston Martin as an official supplier, a supply arrangement with AMG, a supply arrangement with Ferrari. 80% of getting to Porsche, but I mean 80% of the Le Mans grid runs Paget as a standard, and then Porsche.
And look how fat this thing is. How long does this pad last? I mean,
depends.
To give you an example, that's how. I don't know. There's a finger.
Exactly. So depends.
This is an endurance pad?
No, this is actually our RST pad. This is our sprint pad. This pad is made with the highest friction, or to give you the highest friction. So you're going to get it
down quite quickly.
Well, supposedly you get an immediate stop effect. But what's nice about this pad is so soft on your disc. So your disc actually lasts twice as long as with any other pad.
There's two parts to brake pads working.
Yes.
You've got a friction material.
Yeah.
Working against a rotor material, and one of them must wear.
Exactly.
Or both of them must wear.
Or both.
So when you say kind on the rotors, it's really cool. So the pad will wear down, not so much.
Exactly.
And you've got to get them, and part of the bedding process of it is to get some of the material from the pad deposited on the disc.
Yes.
So that you've got the chemical and the friction
right.
to work
So
properly.
what's fantastic about Paget is that most of my pads that I bring in is pre-bedded. So you get a pad from me that's pre-bedded. You can literally slot them in before a race, and as soon as you get on the pads, on the brakes, you are going to have stopping power. Paget is one of the few racing pad or motorsport pad distributors to actually do that, is to pre-bed your pads beforehand.
Do they do road pads as well? Fast road car pads?
Yes, we actually do that.
The butts with we got delayed today coming down here in our limo because we had to slow down because there was a Golf 7, my butt, who had to slow down for the speed bumps.
There you go.
So, Charles, I just want to say, the guys are getting anxious about the time and all of that.
Please.
I want to say thank you very, very much for
inviting
us down to your motorsport headquarters, your great workshop, and allowing us to stick our noses wherever we want to stick it.
Yes.
It's been fabulous and really do appreciate it. And good luck for PE is the next race, the G&H Transport race in, next weekend?
Yes, next weekend we are in PE, and after that we actually...
Then you got the endurance race in PE.
Guess where we are then?
PE. And the good thing about that is that you can go down now next weekend with the G&H cars.
Exactly.
And get a read on the new track surface for the endurance race.
That's mine and Kishore's whole idea. Is Kishore's actually racing his Z4 GT3 race car. So and I'm driving the Lamborghini. We're literally there to learn how and what the track actually is. In my 11 years of GT racing in South Africa, I've never been there. You won't believe
track.
it. So I can't wait. It's my first time.
You got to see how much curb you can hook as you go. Well, I think they call it hanger curve going onto the back there.
Yes.
See if you can ride a whole bunch of curb. So, from yellow flags or flag?
Waved yellow.
Waved yellow. Beware. Be on the alert for a surprise. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to Charles Ranges and Stradale Motorsport. It's been magnificent to walk around. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go and sit in that Lamborghini that they've built up from the ground up, and I'm just going to sit in it. And Gary, I may fall asleep. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
I'm not hooking you out of that car to go home. Eh? If you fall asleep, you stay there till tomorrow.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching.